I should have just stayed home, tucked away in my little apartment back in the city. But no, I had to chase this idea of a quiet life, a slower pace, a town where the biggest excitement was the Friday night bake sale. I moved to Oak Haven 6 months ago, a place so small it felt like it was carved out of the very woods surrounding it. The houses were old, nestled close together like secrets whispered over fences, and the people, well, they were polite enough. A little too polite, maybe. Reserved. Always with that slightly distant gaze. The weirdest thing, though, was the curfew. Not a formal one, of course, but a silent, unspoken rule. By exactly 8 p.m., every single porch light flickered off, every window went dark. It was like the whole town collectively decided to hit the off switch. At first, I thought it was just an old-fashioned community thing, everyone respecting their elders and going to bed early. I'd be walking my dog, Bartholomew, around 8:15, and the streets would be utterly, unnervingly empty. Not a soul. Not a car. Just the rustling of leaves and that thick, heavy silence that felt like it was pressing in on me. I'd try to wave to the few people I saw scurrying inside before the magic hour, but they'd just offer a quick, almost guilty nod and disappear behind their locked doors. It was peculiar, but I told myself it was just a small-town quirk. Everyone has their quirks, right? Tonight, though, something felt different. The air was colder, sharper, and that familiar silence seemed to carry a more sinister weight. I was out later than usual, had to run to the corner store on Elm Street for some milk, and lost track of time. It was 7:55 p.m. when I finally stepped back onto my porch, milk jug in hand. The street lamps hadn't even flickered on yet, which was odd, because they usually hum to life a good 10 minutes before 8. I looked up at the sky, expecting to see the usual sliver of moon, but there was nothing. Just a blanket of bruised, starless dark. Then, I heard it. A faint, rhythmic thudding, like something heavy being dragged across dirt. It was coming from the woods bordering my property, the same woods that seemed to swallow the sunlight even at noon. I told myself it was just a deer, or maybe some kids messing around, though I hadn't seen a single teenager in Oak Haven since I arrived. Bartholomew started whining, his fur bristling along his spine. He never whined like this. He was usually a brave old mutt. I tried to calm him, but my own hands were starting to tremble. The thudding grew louder, closer. It wasn't a single drag anymore. It was a series of sharp, wet smacks, followed by that dragging sound. And then, a low, guttural scraping, like nails on stone. I swore I could smell something too, a metallic tang mixed with the damp earth, something acrid and unpleasant that made my stomach clench. I knew, with a certainty that chilled me to the bone, that this wasn't just a quirky small town. I pulled Bartholomew inside, locking the deadbolt with shaking fingers. The scraping sounds were right outside my back door now, accompanied by a soft, snuffling noise, like an animal trying to root its way in. I crept to the kitchen window, peering through the gap in the curtains. The faint glow from my kitchen light illuminated a patch of the yard, and that's when I saw it. Or rather, them. Figures. Tall, gaunt silhouettes moving with a jerky, unnatural gait. They weren't human. Not entirely. Their limbs seemed too long, their joints bent at odd angles. They were dragging something between them, something dark and heavy that bumped and scraped against the dew-kissed grass. It looked like a person. A whole person. The realization hit me like a physical blow. These were the things that made everyone in Oak Haven disappear inside at 8 p.m. The things that the townsfolk clearly knew about, that they expected. They weren't just being polite and going to bed, they were obeying some ancient, primal instinct to hide. One of the figures lifted its head, and even in the dim light, I saw its eyes. They weren't eyes as I knew them. They were dark, empty sockets that seemed to drink in the meager light, yet somehow saw. It turned its head, and I swear, it looked directly at my window, directly at me. A low, rasping hiss escaped its unseen mouth. The dragging stopped. The scraping noises intensified. They were at the front door now, not just sniffing, but pounding. Not a human pound, but a relentless, heavy impact that made the whole house shudder. Bartholomew let out a terrified yelp. I backed away from the door, my breath catching in my throat, the milk carton slipping from my numb fingers and splashing onto the floor. I could hear them on the porch roof, a scrabbling, tearing sound. They weren't trying to get in anymore. They were trying to get down. The wood above me splintered. I heard that wet, smacking sound again, closer this time, and a low, hungry moan that seemed to echo from the deepest, darkest corners of the woods. Oakhaven's secrets weren't just whispers, they were hunger. And the silence wasn't peace, it was a lullaby. And now, the lullaby is over.